Sorry, guys, I'm dropping keyboards and stuff. Anyway, hi, it's Lori with A Voice in the Dark, spiritscrossing.net. And it's story time. I'm here for story time is for the tougher subjects. We're going to talk a little bit about feeling really bad today, suicidal bad. A friend called me, and she was telling me about her dreams and her daughter's dreams of this one young man. This young man had committed suicide several years ago, and he was wanting help, but they weren't sure, what. And I said, he committed suicide? And they said, yes. I said, well, suicides don't leave and go to the light. They stay. They stay because the pain didn't go away. They realize as a being, as their soul, that the pain didn't go away. It didn't solve the problem. So they knew something was left undone. So they stay on the earth. They don't go to the white light. I said, send me a picture and his name. I'll contact him and I'll talk to him and I'll get him to go to the light. And I'll have some spirit beings that work with me from the other side that have already crossed over. They come down and they help me with things like this so they can help someone that's committed suicide to go back to the light. And then they're healed. There's a lot of healing that goes on when it's a suicide and they finally cross over. But they usually need help crossing over. So I wanted to talk about that because I know that this time of year, the holiday season seems to drum up an awful lot of depression for everyone. And for a lot of people, not everyone, but for a lot. There's a lot of pressure put on all of us for the holiday being, full of gifts and presents and food and family and friends. A lot of celebrations, which we should. Winter solstice, winter celebration is to celebrate our year of, crops. That's what we call it. And anyway, it's a lot of pressure, and I know that. I've been there, done that. And with the world being a little bit crazy right now, I think that it's easier to get in depression. I think it's easier to have suicidal thoughts. I want to tell you that no more. No more suicide. No more suicide thoughts. I'm going to tell you something. You are good enough just the way you are, and things are rough. They're rough for everybody. You're not alone. I don't care if you're a child or if you're an adult. You're not alone. Everybody is feeling some phase of depression, unsureness, or fear, because the world has just plumb gone fucking nuts. So it's not you. Part of it might be you, and you need to get help. But overall, it is not you. It's not any of us. It's the world. The world is made out of energies, okay? And there's good and there's bad. The negative energies really feed off of negative thoughts and feelings like fear and anger. Those are really vibrant in our auric field, and it attracts these lone, loose, I don't know, souls, energies that will come in and feed off of that energy. It gives them a pump up. So they will encourage those same thoughts on you. They will make you feel heavy. They will make you feel, and it's just thoughts, but they are capable of pushing in there on your worst thoughts and making them worse. So it's a fight, but it's a fight worth having because it's not you. 1/10 of what you feel is yours. The rest of it is these energies. And you have to fight. And I mean, you have to fight. You have to understand that they call it fighting for our soul. They call it the devil and God, fighting for our souls. It's a very real situation, okay? The way it's preached about and all that is not correct. However, that's another story. But the thing is that it's energies. You got positive energies, but you got to think positive, and it'll attract more positive in your life, and it'll fill you more, and it'll protect you more because you'll have bigger energy fields of positive. But when you start getting down on yourself and that negative talk and that negative feeling about yourself and the world and hating everybody and having anger all the time, that attracts the negative. And they'll swarm some people, and they swarm in, and it's like all of a sudden you're feeling really bad, and you have no energy. You're tired. You're sleepy. Anybody going through that? All of a sudden total exhaustion, and you can't understand why, and you just need to sleep. It's not you. Our souls are made to handle the stresses we go through here on this earth. It is the energies that fight over our energy that make it worse for us. They make it seem like it's ours, but it's not. But they need that negative energy to grow and become strong. We have to fight and become positive and loving and strong in that. Is it easy? No, because we are taught that negativity is okay. Look at the news. Look at a newspaper, magazine, whatever, Facebook. We're not meant to short sell ourselves sexually or mentally or emotionally. And we're meant to love ourselves and have some dignity and pride. Not over pride, but positive pride. I'm happy with who I am. I don't need that right now, thank you. This is our go time. This is the first time in the history of the souls and humans on this planet that have ever risen to ascension, because we managed to hold enough love in our hearts for the planet to actually ascend. It only took, and I think it's somewhere like 8% of us to be able to hold that kind of love and raise the human up to ascension. There are different levels of heaven. There are, so ascension's real important because we're actually moving dimensions. We're moving upward. And it will be new levels of heaven and that we've ever seen as souls, because we always go to the white light, and that always cycles us back through because we're here to learn. But what I'm trying to say is you're enough. And we are not meant to be divided. We are meant to be our unique, authentic selves. We are each made independently in God's mind, because she wants to experience us as we are through each one of us. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made us all different. And that's the beauty of it. We are one with Source, an integral part of Source, but we are also a unique individual spirit. And we are meant to be that uniqueness. We are meant to explore it and grow with it. We're not meant to be in boxes. We are not meant to live the way society is. That's why so many people are either jumping on the bandwagon of this has got to stop, because none of us are happy, or they're just spreading out and doing their own thing. That's what I mean when I say don't be scared during these times, because it's these times that give us the ability, because we've already hit rock bottom, right? It gives us the ability to do something new, to actually go inside, learn to meditate, deep breathe 15 minutes a day, sometimes twice a day if you can. Get in tune. Get in tune with your spirit, your soul. It's your soul that should be running the show anyway, and that's through your intuition. You'll know. Our minds need to be kept busy, and they're supposed to be data retrieval. That's it. Our soul's supposed to be the whole show. So learn how to get in tune with it. And you'll know, because it'll make you feel good, and your heart will feel more open. Try to do one act of kindness a day. The more you do these more positive things, and I mean you have to work at it sometimes, because if you've really been in a depression of your own and you've been bombarded by these energies, these negative energies, and they're growing and you're shrinking, it can be overcome, trust me, but it is a battle. But that's how you have to look at it too. You have to look at it as a spiritual battle. And God always wins. The light always wins. But the dark always gives you a good battle. So hang in there is what I'm trying to say. Hang in there. And if you are feeling tired all the time and really having some fatigue problems, it's because there's energy vampires all over you. Change your thoughts. Your thoughts have to be good, and they have to be really good about yourself. So you just look in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm enough just as I am. However you have to say it. And you keep saying it until you believe it. But you keep saying it, and you keep putting some power behind it, because you're worth it, and you're enough. And there is not supposed to be division between us. You know, one of my favorite places when I traveled Europe, we most of the places you went to eat, you sat with other people, because they were just long tables and chairs. That it wasn't individual settings like we get here in the States. And I thought it was really cool, because then, you know, here we were, you know, American tourists, and we got to sit by real people from the area, you know, and some of them actually could speak English, so then it was a really conversation. Other times it was just, well, we tried to have a conversation, and but it didn't matter who we were. It didn't matter how much money we made. It didn't matter how we were dressed. And the same thing when I went to San Diego one time. And I went out there to visit a friend, and he took me out to this wharf area where the picnic tables were made out of marble. I thought that was really cool, and the benches. And I'm looking down, and they're all marble. But when I'm looking, I'm noticing that one picnic table is full of kind of dirty old fishermen, you know. They'd been at it all day, I guess, on the wharf. And but then the next one was with a young couple and their kids, and they're dressed nice, and they're just playing and eating. And then there was us. We were in our blue jeans and our sweaters and whatever. And then next to us was a guy and gal putting out fine china with linen and candles and having a nice dinner. What I'm trying to express here is that we all had room to be and enjoy the same view of the world from our own aspect, which was different all the way down the line. That's what we're meant to be. We're not supposed to hate our neighbor. We're not supposed to hate a gay person. As a matter of fact, we would quit talking about, because I hear this a lot from a lot of Christians, they just wish they wouldn't talk about it anymore. Well, I understand that. I do. But until you understand what they're trying to get for themselves, which is the same rights as any married couple, so that married couple can, the husband aspect, the male who's making the living, can support his partner and their household and get them insurance. These are inalienable rights for all humans. It doesn't matter what our sex is. It doesn't matter who we choose to be our sexual love forever. It may be the same sex, maybe a transgender. I mean, everything's out there now. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And you won't hear much about it once you accept it. As long as there's a part of you in here that isn't accepting it and is angry about it, it will continue to be a problem. These people work too, and they have a right to taxes, they have a right to insurance, they have a right to all the things that we are blessed with as being straight couples. So let's get over it. Let's get over ourselves. It's okay that we're different. Embrace it. And I would rather my children be read a story by a drag queen who just looks all dialed up like an entertainer than by a preacher who's preaching to them that they're going to go to hell, or a teacher that just cannot do anything but negatively talk to a kid who obviously is dyslexic. We cannot pick and choose who we're going to love and who we're going to accept and who's going to be in our society. We have to choose all of them. Or what are we? We could be the one that ends up being the one left out. Do you want to be left out? I'm just saying, God made us each unique because he wanted to experience each of us as we were. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made us different. So let's lighten up on ourselves and our brother and sisters. Because if you're a Christian, Christ said, you are my brothers and sisters. He didn't say he was your God. He said he is your brother, and that's a fact. And that we could do everything he does and more. There's more. I used to drive ministers crazy and rabbis and everybody because I wanted to know how to get to the more. So how do I do what Jesus did? How do I become Jesus? And they couldn't answer me. And they sure couldn't even answer me about how do I listen to God. When Jesus said, I talk to God, that's when I pray. But then he said, but when I listen to God, I sit in quiet meditation. Well, how do you meditate? How do I meditate? I want to hear God. Anyway, as the years went by, I did learn, finally. And and it's not a voice you hear. You'll get a thought sometimes, but most of the time it's through another person on the street or the radio or the TV. Something will come up that'll answer what you asked or what you were looking for or something in your spirit that needed to be moved. So it's not a big mystic, magical thing. It's actually a real simple, easy thing. And get to know it. See, you're allowed to worship any way you want. That's cool. God's got big shoulders. He doesn't care. As long as you're happy with it, you're happy with it. So, but the thing is that your spiritual soul path, that is a very personal path. It's a very personal relationship with just God and you. So find a way to get to know God for yourself. Not through clergy, not through books, through meditation. And letting God know, I want to understand myself more. And in that understanding, I will understand you more. Or I want to understand you more. So in that understanding, I would understand myself more. There is no separation. There never was. We just forget that we can communicate with God. We just forget that we are one with God. God is all it is. And we need to get back to remembering. And this is the time. And that's what I mean. Don't be scared what's going on. Most of the crap that's going on in this world is being done on purpose. It's being done on purpose to bring up fear. Because that's what they feed on. And it's a damn shame. And most of us never knew it until now. So don't get angry. I've done enough of that for us. But get even. Even by growing, embracing your positive. It's okay to be negative once in a while. It's okay to be down one day. It's okay. But don't get mad at yourself for it. And don't bring in extra negative attitudes or beliefs during that time. Feel it. Feel the emotion. Feel why it's there. And then release it. Because once you identify where it came from, it releases itself. So do the work. It's easy. And if you're being triggered by anger, that means you have a really bad pain somewhere that needs to be gotten to, because it's blocking you from the wonder that we were meant to enjoy when we're here. Is it going to be perfect? Is it going to be easy? No. Life isn't like that. The universe isn't like that. But this is one of the areas in one of the worlds, the third dimension, fourth and fifth, where we actually get to explore being physical. Because we are energy beings. Our soul's just raw energy. We can kind of, bring it into form a little bit, but it's not the same. It's what we get to experience here. So that's why we come here. We come here to experience, because God wanted to experience all these different ideals and ideas and weirdnesses that she had. Because that's why the world's so diversified. Because God is diversified and he wanted to experience what that felt like. And he does it through us. So no separation. Get to know God. Test him. Test the universe. The universe is set up with the negative and the positive, the two polars. But it's also set up to help us and give us whatever we want. To get there, though, you have to be able to, because I'm sure you all hear law of attraction. But when we were children and we went through severe trauma, and we have dealt with other traumas since, with relationships, bad relationships, this relationship, whatever. We have to deal with all that first before we can actually put ourselves in this perfect balance of belief that we are worthy of anything and everything we want. We are the master magicians. We are all gods because we are one with Source. And we're becoming gods in our own right. So it's okay. Whatever you're experiencing, it's okay. And it's going to be okay. Step into the pain or the depression, whatever it is. Most of the time it's pain that we've hidden from. See where it came from. Look at it as an observer. Let the soul be the observer and notice the observer that's in you. That's your real self. Let the mind. One of the reasons that they tell you to look at a candle and listen to music and focus on your breath and focus, on sound when you're meditating is because you want to take all your 5 senses and keep them busy on something, because that ties up your mind so that your soul can bring in this stillness, this peace that there are no words for. I just suggest that you always work towards it. It takes time. It will not happen quickly. It takes time. It takes effort and dedication. And I just feel that every soul on the planet should feel it, because then you would have no doubt who or what you are. And you can put your mind in its proper position, which is a data storage unit. Your soul is to make the choices. And we're meant to co-create with the universe. The universe is set up for us to create and create anything. And I mean anything. It's limitless. It's limitless the money we can make. It's limitless what we can create. We just have to clean ourselves up a little bit, mentally, emotionally, sometimes physically. But you'll find as you're cleaning up yourself mentally and emotionally, you're going to want to be physically more adapt too. The thing is, I want you to believe in yourself and know that you are enough just as you are. God forgave you the moment He dreamt you into existence. There is no sin. To me, the only sin there is not loving ourselves like Source loves us, which is unconditional, and forgiving ourselves for experiencing some of the things we've experienced. But you have to understand, we didn't know any better then, but we do now. And learning to love yourself means that you have a right to have boundaries. People can't just walk all over you and push you. And if you get fired, that's okay. Tell God you need another job. And know that one will just appear. It's that easy if you allow it. I want everyone, instead of being depressed, I want them to understand how the universe works so that you don't have to be that damn depressed, and maybe actually be able to begin to see that there might be a different way of doing things, a new perspective on yourself and the world around you. And find something, whatever it is, not drugs, alcohol, or sex, none of the stuff that hurts you. Find something that you love to do that brings joy. Mine's watching the birds outside eat, and I feed the critters out back. Find something that makes you happy. And then expand on it every day if you can, until your day's so full of things that make you happy. Even when you had to go to work and do all that work, we all have to work. It's just part of it. But it does not have to be your center stone. And if you're meditating every day, and I'm just telling you to deep breathe for 15 minutes every day. Try to do it at the same time every day, and let your spirit guides and your angels know, or whoever you want to believe in. It will allow them to help you more, because it'll be a routine for the both of you. And talk to God. Tell Him to prove Himself. I need to know that you're actually listening to me. Can you do this? And wait. I'm writing a book on all that, but it's okay to question God. It's okay to question the angels of the universe. It is actually very okay. They hope you will. They hope you'll break the illusion of your life and dare to step one step ahead and say, hey, I'm here. Are you here? God's pretty cool, you know. And so is the goddess. And you're well aware of everything else, because God got us. All it is in everything. There is nothing in creation that does not and is not a part of Source. And He needs us to grow into our godhood so that the universe will keep expanding. We're not meant to sit in one position. We're not meant to sit still for so long. We're meant to keep growing. We're meant to challenge ourselves and go into new things and ask for help and learn to be vulnerable and learn to be tough and, and when to use those, And it's just, these are lessons we're learning on how to be a balanced human being and a good one, a good-hearted one. So open your heart again. Take a look around. Don't be overly trusting, because there are bad people still out there. I can't iterate that enough. However, it is not a reason to not have your heart open. You can have your eyes peeled too, but you can still be a kind and loving person. And no matter what you think has been done to you, and somebody's had it worse, and somebody's had it less. It was very real to you, though. It was very real to me. And some of it's from past lives, and you just have to learn to do the work. There's plenty of spiritual people out there to help you. And you can always look in my description box. There's my emails on there and my website. And then there's all kinds of 800 numbers for other things, different kinds of abuses and stuff. And learn that your voice is your voice. And you have a right to your voice. And you have a right to take up space. As long as you take breath, you have a right to take up space. And there is no perfection anywhere in the universe. The only thing that's truly perfect is the chaos itself. You sit on the ground and look as low as you can and look at how all of nature functions. Does that look like perfect, linear boxes and stuff? No, not at all. Some trees got to outstretch the next tree because they want more sun, And but this blade of grass, you wonder why it went this way instead of the way the rest of them did. Well, if you look closer, there's a little bug living under there. It's the same with us. We are chaotic. But that's because we came here to experience a plethora, and as much as we can, experiences. So don't be hard on yourself. And this holiday, if you can't afford gifts, that's fine. Maybe you could collect enough rocks, smooth ones if you can find them, or you can actually get a good bag of them at the dollar store, and draw a little design on it that's just yours, and give that out as gifts. Wrap it, make it look pretty. It doesn't have to be bought at a store, is what I'm trying to tell you. Don't feel bad. I started making gifts years ago because I couldn't afford to buy gifts. And I still wanted the family and friends to have things, and some of my employees too. And the thing is that I got more joy out of thinking up and creating a new gift every year, and making it with great love. And it gave me great satisfaction and fulfillment. And it always warmed everybody's heart. They always loved my gifts that I made. So try that, and let up on the need to be like the Joneses or anybody else. Money isn't everything. It helps. It helps immensely. I will not deny that. However, the world is in a big change right now. And as long as we stay positive and upright in our thoughts, in our heart, and try to dream of a world that is what we want, not what it is, but is what we want. If we could do that for 10 minutes every day, the world would change and we would win. So my next one might be on the world I see, because I know how hard it is sometimes to come up with an idea for the future, especially when you're hurting. And you can email me if you need help. I'm a healer, a faith healer, and I have the gift of prayer. So if you need something, let me know, and I'll answer back. You have to understand that this time we are at the precipice of our new future, our new world. Which world do you want to be in? Because there's going to be two. There's going to be the Cold War one, the ugly one, the dark. And everybody's poor and starving, and all you got is the elite, and they're whatever they're doing. And who cares what they do? But if you end up in that world, because you can't quite get yourself strong enough to pull into the other world, you can always get to that other world by being positive and raising your vibration in love. Remember that you can always talk to nature, and nature will help you find food if you should need it. Help bring you food too. I have more on that in my book. coming out, hopefully, after the first of the year. Now, allow yourself to build your faith back up and to believe in something bigger than yourself, and to believe and to know that you are an integral part of that which is bigger than you. A very important part. Each one of us is, or we would not have been thought of and created. And we can't judge each other. We can't judge the rich person. We can't judge the poor person, because we don't know where their soul's path is right now. The rich person might be a new soul, which they usually are. The poor person's usually an old soul, because they've done it all. So, and it's not always that way, but what I'm saying is that's kind of, the way it goes. So, don't judge anyone. And if someone's judging you, just smile and walk away. I don't know where they brought these Karens out from. I think they're clones and they've been programmed. I can't believe there's that many people with that kind of audacity and ignorance, but I guess there is. Anyway, they seem like they've been triggered and turned on. So ignore them. Walk away. I don't know, I guess that's all I got for now, but suicide's a no. Not here, not now. We are the winning team. We're going to stay that way. If I have to come on here every night and tell you that. So, I love you. God loves you. And keep your chin up. It's okay to get depressed. It's okay to feel a pain and feel upset. You can't stay there, though, okay? And I'm telling you that the longer you stay there, the more these energies, negative energies, come in and feed off of you. And then you feel really tired and really heavy, and it gets worse. So if you're starting to feel super tired all the time, you can't explain it, that's because you're being fed on. You need to shower a lot, and you need to work on bringing up powerful, positive energy. Whether it's through music at 432 hertz is really good. Any kind of classical music. I like Bach. And, but positive. And comedy. We need to laugh. But it needs to be healthy comedy, not at other people's expenses. This is real important, I think, right now for all of us, because times like this make us go inside and really question ourselves and question our way of being and the way we've been, and how do we hurt ourselves by making choices that didn't seem really wise after the fact, But take a look, but don't stay there, and allow the observer. Pay attention to the observer that's observing your thoughts, and realize that it's okay to let it go. It's okay to bless them to their highest good, let God take care of them. And karma works, and God does take care of things. And once you let it go, it eases up on your heart. Don't let somebody take, they call it free rent in your brain, or your soul, or your energy. Kick them out. They aren't worth it. You are. So, know you're enough. Know it's okay. Give yourself permission to cry and scream if you need to. And once you get done being sad and you finally get angry that, by God, I am going to be fine, and this is my life, and I'm going to do what I want, and even if it is the wrong thing, sometimes, I'm just going to make a decision to be happy. You have that right. Get mad, because it does help clear it up real quick. Just don't get mad and take it out on anybody. It's just one of those fiercenesses that comes up and says, I am worth it. I have value, just the way I am. I don't need to be any better for nobody. I'll find my own tribe when I find what it is that I love to do. So, get with it. Happy holidays. This is Lori with a voice in the dark here at spiritscrossing.net. Love you. Bye.